Y'all ready? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I call this meeting of the Board of Parks and Recreation to order. I am Michelle Cummings-Seal, Chair of the Board of Parks and Recreation. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll read now the appeal of decisions pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws. Please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. We'll move now to the consideration of minutes. Have you had an opportunity to read the minutes of the November meeting?
Yeah, I move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you so much. Alice, is there any discussion regarding that? Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Metro Council referrals. Are there any referrals from council members present? Director Odom.
Council Member Brenda Gadd is here with us today.
Hello, council member. Would you like to address the body? Yes.
Thank you so much, Director Odom, for recognizing me. Thank you, Madam Chair, Dr. Still, and our wonderful members of the Parks Board. Thank you so much for the time today and the work that you do. I'm here to speak on behalf of two items that are on the agenda. One item is regarding the Sylvan Park Neighborhood Association's proposal to replace an existing sign. We also have members of the Neighborhood Association who have signed up to speak and were involved in the previous placement, and so they'll be able to share that history when they when it's their turn to speak during public comment. But I've been communicating with park staff and thrilled to support the work through the Neighborhood Association that they're doing to raise the funds in order to do a replacement. And also staff would have seen the design style that would incorporate another design style that's with the McKay Park, so really tying these two together. For any of us that have been, that go by, walk, run, jog, drive along 46th Avenue would have on Richland Park would see that the sign is in desperate need of repair, and so they are doing all the work there. So they've submitted their design some time ago and looking forward to the support. I haven't heard anything from staff, even though I've communicated with them about if there are any issues or anything else that can be involved in supporting. So I'm hopeful that there's not a recommendation for or against on the general agenda, but I'm hopeful that that is a recommendation and support. But I appreciate the staff's due diligence to make sure we're able to come forward with something that will be acceptable. And then another item that's come out of the naming committee earlier today with support. I am supportive of the name change from Cumberland to Wasiota Park, and appreciate all the work that the department and staff has done to make sure to get public feedback on that, and to hear from folks in the public. So completely appreciative of that work and the work of the community and those who will be here today to speak on behalf of the work they've done. So with that concludes my public comments. So thank you all so much. And if there's any questions of me, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We'll move now to public comment period. The public comment period is limited to 20 minutes total. Persons wishing to provide comment on matters that are germane to items on the agenda must sign up prior to the beginning of the meeting on the sign-up sheet provided at the meeting. The opportunity to provide public comment is offered on a first-come, first-served basis. Comments are limited to a maximum of 2 minutes per person. I'll call now up on item 11, Albert Bender.
My name is Albert Bender, and I am the chairperson of the Indigenous Peoples Coalition. I'm also a retired attorney, author, historian, social critic, philosopher, community activist, along with a number of other things. And I want to first off say that I hope that our item on the name change is handled expeditiously, because at 12:30 I will need to exit this meeting because I have a venue at which I am a speaker before a national organization at the Renaissance Hotel. That being said, I don't want to engage in the repetition of advocacy for the name change. I think it speaks for itself. And there has been some considerable rancor on the part of the indigenous community at how this process has proceeded. But without me going into details on that, I would just say that in light of the recommendation of the naming committee in favor of the name change, I would advocate that the Parks Board act accordingly. The Parks Board knows what is right. Let's do what is right. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bender. Move now to Cheryl Pickney.
I did not come prepared to speak today. We were just made aware this morning of the meeting today, so I'm very unprepared. But my husband and I are long-term Sylvan Park residents. I think we've been married 44 years. I lost count. But the sign that's in the park, it's not a Sylvan Park Neighborhood Association sign. It is a Sylvan Park neighborhood sign. And we put it together kind of with the children at Sylvan Park Elementary School in 2001. And it was made of tiles made by the children. And it was very soon after 9/11. So the tiles are reflective of that time and era. And they're falling apart. I think our sign today says maybe UD or ARC. The lettering has fallen off. And what we're trying to do is we've raised most of the money, and we're trying to go through the process, which is now very technical compared to 20-odd years ago. Mm-hmm. The new Nashville is more complicated. But what we want to do is a good thing. It just marks our neighborhood. And it's in Richland Park. It's been in the corner of 46th Avenue and Park Avenue. And it's not causing any problems that we're aware of. But it is falling apart, and we would just like to replace it. And that's why we're here today. And my husband can say things that probably are more technical than that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bernard Pickney?
Yes, I'm Bernard Pickney, longtime member of the Sylvan Park Neighborhood Association. And we built this sign back in 2001, and it was basically funded by a grant from the mayor's office. And we just kind of got together on the back of a napkin and drew out what we wanted to do and did most of the work ourselves. But now the sign's gotten old, and it doesn't match the signs down in the business district or McCabe roundabout. And this sign that we want to replace the old sign with is designed by people with artistic experience and engineering experience. And we just want to replace the old sign with a new one, and that's basically it. So I hope y'all see it, help us out there. Thank you.
Mr. Pickney, it is good to see you. Do you remember me?
I tell you what, I'm getting old.
So it's okay. I have a young mind. I remember you. I was in the mayor's office under Bill Purcell, and we were in the Office of Neighborhoods that granted that grant for the sign.
Now I remember.
Yes, it's good to see you both. Thank you for, thank you for saying that, because I'm sitting here looking at your name like, I know this name. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mm-hmm. We'll move now. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your comments. We'll move now to old business. Mr. Bender. We are at 08-24-11. I believe you will get to make it to your meeting. Yes. I believe you will make it to your meeting by 12:30. We are at this point in the agenda. We're on old business. 08-24-11, the Indigenous Peoples Coalition requests approval to rename Cumberland Park to Wasiota Park, the original Shawnee name of the Cumberland River, Council District 19. The naming committee met this morning. Commissioner Scott Barnes is their report from the committee.
Yes, the naming committee met and we had full attendance and a unanimous vote in favor of renaming the park to Wasiota. And I'd like to, just for the record, talk about the number of responses that we received, that we had a total of 236 responses that were 208 were in favor, 28 were opposed, and the breakdown of the way that they were responded, phone responses, we had 8, letters by mail, we had 15, email 196, ballot 8, in person 9, and the survey that was sent earlier in the year by Ms. Segovia is not included in the total response above, since we had no way of verifying how they were secured.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion from the board?
Absolutely, and I believe that Commissioner Scott Barnes was maybe thinking that I should speak to this. I think one thing that was really important, and we discussed at the committee level, is that the footprint of what is now intended to be named Wasiota Park does rest inside of the East Bank, and particularly the Imagine East Bank Vision Plan, which was accepted by the Planning Commission in 2002, in October of 22, and the effectuation of that plan is underway now. There's a lot of construction that's happening, obviously, with the new stadium, but a lot of infrastructure work that'll be there. And I just wanted to, I brought it up during our naming committee session, and I think it's just important to state here as well, is there will continue to be a lot of impacts, not only to the park footprint, but also just the entire footprint of the East Bank. And just wanted to make it aware to all those that have supported the name change and the general public that the footprint of that park will be impacted. Whether it's from construction, access will be impacted or limited, as well as there will be ongoing infrastructure that's placed inside of that park that will contort and modify the footprint of the park. I think it's extremely exciting that the park is being renamed. I think it's extremely exciting that the East Bank is getting its vision plan brought to life, and we'll have Wasiota as the name of the park that sits inside that footprint. But I just wanted to make sure that that was stated here for the public.
Thank you so much. Commissioner.
Yes, I wanted to also, I was hoping that Director Odom would be able to speak because we did have in the naming committee, I think, an important reminder, reminder about our policy that I just was hoping for the record that you could address right now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. As I mentioned in the naming committee, when this body revised the naming policy back in 2021, a section was inserted, Section F, that the costs associated with the renaming of a park shall be borne by the requesting organization. These costs include, but are not limited to, signage, print media, online references, and other costs identified by the Parks Department. So just to want that to be clear for everyone.
Okay. Is there any other discussion from the board? All righty. I'll accept a motion.
I make a motion.
Thank you. A second? Second. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. The motion passes. Thank you so much. Mr. Bender, it is 12:15. It's 12:15. There is traffic. You will be late. All righty. Thank you. Good to see you. We'll move now to the consent agenda. I will accept a motion to accept the consent agenda in its entirety.
So moved.
Thank you so much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. We'll move now to new business. 12-24-03 Middle Tennessee Pony Club requests permission for the 73rd consecutive running of the MTPC Horse Trails held at the Equestrian Center for Percy Warner Park and waiver of fees for the 2025 season. This is in Council District 23. Director Odom, do you have any comments from the staff?
No comments. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
All right, is there a second? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes. 12-24-04, the Percy Priest Yacht Club requests permission to base its regatta and other sailing activities at Hamilton Creek Sailboat Marina. Shh. Can you get them, please? Other selling activities at Hamilton Creek Sailboat Marina and to serve, not sell, alcoholic beverages for 3 hours after each event. PPYC also requests permission to isolate one parking lot and launching ramp at Hamilton Creek from 6 a.m. to 12 noon for the Regatta 2025 event dates, Council District 13. They're looking for alcohol approval for Red Cup Affairs, RV camping approval. The dates are there, and amplification approval. Director Odom, do you have any comments from staff?
No comments other than this is a recurring annual request, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. Is there any discussion from the board? All righty, seeing none, I'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes. 12-24-05, staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant valued at approximately $10,000 from the Nashville Parks Foundation to purchase a new water fountain for Seven Oaks Park with features including a filtered bottle filter, pet bowl, and a fully accessible design. There is no required match or other obligation by parks associated with this grant. No money will be sent to Metro Parks. The project will be paid for directly by the Nashville Parks Foundation. NPF will coordinate all details of the project purchase with Metro Parks staff, and Metro Parks maintenance will oversee the installation of the water fountain. Council District 21. Director Odom, you have comments from the staff?
None. Staff recommends approval.
Okay. Is there discussion from the board? Seeing none, I will accept a motion.
So moved.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes. 12-24-06, staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant in the amount of $20,400 from the Nashville Parks Foundation for programming improvements to Metro Nashville community centers. The projects funded will include music equipment for youth bands, Got Skills sport clinics, sports league sponsorships, and transportation and supplies. There is no required match or other obligation required by the Metro Parks associated with this grant. This is Council District citywide. Director Odom, is there a recommendation from the board, from the staff?
Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from the board? I'll accept a motion. Okay, is there a second? It's been properly, thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes. 12-24-07, staff requests acceptance of an in-kind grant in the amount of $36,600 from the Centennial Park Conservancy to fund an architectural design feasibility study for the picnic pavilion in Centennial Park. The attached proposal from HDLA includes landscape architecture services as well as architecture, Dryden, cost estimation, NASCO, and 3 renderings from Lunas. This grant requires no match other obligation from Metro Parks. No money will be sent to Metro Parks. The design will be paid for directly by CPC. CPC will continue to work with Metro Parks on the detail of plans, materials, and schedule as the project moves forward. CPC will not proceed with the project until final written approval is provided by the appropriate park staff. This is Council District 21. Director Odom, is there a recommendation from staff?
Staff recommends approval.
Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing none, I will accept a motion. Is there a second? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes. 12-24-08, staff requests approval of a proposed fee changes for the department and summary of changes. The proposed fee, summary of changes, and are for programs adjusted fees based on surveys of other cities and facilities districts citywide. We are deferring this item to give the board time to review that information, and so we'll take it up at our next meeting in January. 12-24-09, the Sylvan Park Neighborhood Association requests permission to replace the existing sign in Richland Park, Council District 24. And we are going to defer this item to the signage committee in order for all information to be received and for that dialogue to happen. Okay, we're deferring. You're looking like, you good? Okay.
I'm surprised. No one here knows that.
Okay.
None of the staff knows apparently what's happening. So when is the signage committee?
It'll be in January.
Okay.
Okay. We'll talk. Special presentations. We're moving to the Friends of Bells Bend Park to present an annual update to the board. Anyone here from Bells Bend? Or Beeman? Come on in. Please state your name, and you have 7 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Emily Fauché. I'm the president of Friends of Beeman Park. I'll make this pretty brief. We've had a really exciting year of growth at Friends of Beeman Park. In 2024 so far, volunteers have contributed more than 1,400 hours of volunteer work in the park, pulling invasives, cleaning trash, with event assistance, trailhead greetings, board participation, and helping in the Nature Center, and many more volunteer activities. In addition, we have funded a moonshine exhibit in the Nature Center, as well as many park events. We've funded projects for the summer seasonal workers, as well as native plants for the park. Some big project highlights that we've had in 2024 include replacing 3 of the benches. We have 2 large benches at our Creekside and Ridgetop trailheads. They're large curved benches, and we replaced those with a grant from the TTA, the Evan Means grant. And we've also replaced 1 of our trail benches along our trails. Also, very recently, we've had a trash cleanup in Long Hollow that resulted in more than 2,400 pounds of trash being removed out of the park. This is mostly trash that has been there for many years, as it was a previous dumping site. Upcoming in 2025, we hope to continue to do a lot of these projects, more bench replacements as the benches along the trails are not usable in their current state. We also hope to continue with more trash cleanups, invasive removals. In fact, we have 5 upcoming invasive pulling events starting the first Saturday of each month, starting this Saturday. An exciting adventure for Beeman Park is that we're starting the Tennessee Naturalist program there this next upcoming year. This should engage a lot of volunteers in the park and for Friends of Beeman as well. So we're really looking forward to that. That's it.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the board? Thank you so much for being here, Emily.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. We appreciate your time and your interest in the Friends of Beeman Park. We'll move now to our capital projects update. We actually have a written report today, so you have that in your possession. We have the Greenways Open Space update. We have a written report for that as well. And our upcoming special activities and events, we do have a spoken report from Jackie Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's the season to be jolly, and we are going to do just that. The annual tree lighting ceremony is scheduled for Friday, December 6th at 6 p.m. at Public Square Park. Metro Parks was very instrumental in finding the tree for the city's celebration. It was donated by a family in Brentwood. The annual City of Nashville menorah lighting is scheduled for Monday, December 30th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in Public Square Park. We also have the Mini Nutcracker, which is an annual event. It's a Nashville tradition. The Centennial Youth Ballet and Metro Parks Dance are hosting that performance at Harpeth Hall from December 13th through December 15th. Tickets are on sale now. It's always a sellout. So you'll want to make sure that you purchase your tickets now to attend. We have the annual student and staff holiday exhibit and sale. That is another annual event at Metro Parks. That is going on now through December 18th. And it is a great place to do any of your holiday shopping. They have fine arts, sculptures, unique statues, jewelry, just a variety of items that's over there at the Arts Center. So if you have time, drive by there, stop by there after you leave here. And finally, we have the East Park Community Center is hosting the Pop-Up Chop Sunday in the East Park Gym on December 22nd from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Children's ages 4 through 17 can receive a free haircut. You can secure your park by calling East Park Community Center. Walk-ins will be accepted on a first-come, first-served basis. And that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll move now to the report of the director. Director Odom.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Parks Board. I hope you all had a pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. Jackie mentioned a lot, so I won't be redundant. I did want to, again, call your attention to the capital spending plan that is on Metro Council's agenda. There'll be a one-meeting deferral, actually, for the capital spending plan for tonight, but Parks is, we will receive, or hopefully we will be approved for $27.8 million. I'm excited about that. That request was informed by the department. That does not always happen, and so I'm excited again about that because as I've always mentioned to you all, it's important for us to be able to take care of the park system that we have. And I know that taking care of the system is not always bright, shiny new things. It's projects like paving and roofing and building mechanicals and HVAC, but really they're the infrastructure of this park system. And so I'm very grateful for the consideration we are getting there. Our mid-year review that I mentioned last month with Metro Finance went very well. Late last month, we kind of did a look at a review of FY25 budget, operating budget, where we are, and anticipated expenditures and any that we do not expect. We also talked a little bit about FY26 operating budget as we move through the holiday season and get to January. Operating budget season will kick off, so we'll be in budget development mode. Now, staff, as I mentioned to you last month, we've already started that process internally. Our divisions are already thinking about improvements or investments that they would like to see. Just as a little known fact, our landscaping crew has planted 10,000 pansies and 10,000 tulip bulbs throughout the park system. I don't think they always get the shine and appreciation that they so deserve, but then too, that landscaping crew is also the same crew that is responsible for locating and putting up the city Christmas tree. So they are very busy, but I did just want to mention them. And then finally, our employee holiday team building event will be December 13th at the Sportsplex. I'd like to thank all of our staff and team members who are on that committee, that planning committee, and specifically the leadership of Lindsay Magnus and Anita Gregory-Smith for developing that. So that is all I have today. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Director Odom. We'll move now to announcements, requests for future agenda items, and open items. Are there any? All righty. I will say to you all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe, bring me back a present when I see you next time, and we are adjourned, unless you all want to stay. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you so much for your time today.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.